Hello, guys. Good afternoon. My name is Ilisami Ebenezer. Welcome to Generation Unfiltered. And this is another amazing episode. And we're going to be discussing, some kind of wonderful topic. I am Imagination. And with me here, I have some amazing people. I have my co-hosts. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Iriata Laura, aka
Okay.
Loli.
Lolly P. Yeah, and I have some amazing guests here with me. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Alibo Kayabami, AY Bams.
AY Bams. Okay, and I have another
I'm
beautiful lady.
Kelechi, aka Kele.
Kill it, All right, so on this episode, we are going to be discussing culture and identity, preserving our culture and identity, and we really have a lot of things to talk about here. And well, let me just hold it there. By the time we come back from this break, we're going to dive deep into the topic. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to this amazing episode. And as I said earlier, we're going to be discussing about culture and identity, preserving our culture. Yeah, there are so many in the modern days now. Some people don't know culture again. In fact, some children, they don't know their language. They cannot speak their language. So I want to, throw the topic to my co-host here and my guests. What do you think about this modern day culture and identity? Do you think the culture is being preserved and the identity? First of all, let me ask my co-host, which state are you from?
I'm from Edo State.
From Edo State. Okay, Edo. Okay, now them they put Anki for nose.
No, I know they do.
No, now they used to do like when they want to. They are ladies. They will wear bead and put Anki. They have
It's
their
for their
culture.
wedding. Now.
Is it for their wedding?
Different
Yes.
thing.
And that man cannot see their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Eh?
And that man cannot see their teeth.
Their teeth.
Yes.
What did they their
Teeth
teeth?
where
It's for the
Gold.
husband.
For
It's
the
gold.
husband, you know.
Ah,
Please.
teeth.
but they still do it.
Eh? They still do
They
it.
still do it. Yeah.
So, Kelechi, which state are you from?
Abia.
Abia State. That's Igbo now.
Yes.
Can you speak your language?
No.
You see what you are saying? You see what you are saying? Culture and identity.
Okay.
You see, you cannot even identify yourself. So that means they can say you in your own state. That's not fair. AY Bams, Ayo, they know that. What state are you from, please?
I'm from your state.
Yoruba
Which state?
demon. Yoruba
State.
demons.
Which one is your state?
Your state, not your state you come from.
We see that this one is claiming that he knows me. Which one is your state? I'm not from your
I'm
state.
from Oyo State.
You are from your state.
Mhm.
So how are you now? How are you not taking me? I will be for. Do I resemble your state?
Which state you
So is my head big like your own? I'm from Lagos State. I'm from Lagos. I'm a proud Lagosian. I'm an economy. So it's for you to not ask me which part of Lagos State. I'll not tell you. Okay, so what do you think about culture and identity? Like, do you think the culture is being preserved? Do you think the identity is still there? Let me start from.
So I feel normally like the layman knows that culture is just like the total way of life of people, and then you can distinguish between these groups by what they have to like bring up. For example, we have different states, Igbo, Yoruba, Edo, and the likes of them, and you would be able to identify their cultural system by like their traditions, the way they do their stuffs, the way their languages, their dressing code, their manners, and all of that. So I feel to some extent like the Yoruba people specifically, they actually preserve their culture up to date, like because it's something rampant that we can see definitely, because we're all in Lagos, and most Lagosians, I can't really say, but places I have been through, I just feel like they are more of Yorubas, and
Are you
yes, they
saying
have been
this
able to
because you are
promote.
in Lagos or because you feel that is how it is?
I feel because I'm in Lagos, I've witnessed it.
Okay.
I was born and brought up in
So if
Lagos.
you now move to Abia State, do you think they don't do that in your state?
I cannot really say. That's why I'm testifying for what
What
I
you have
know,
seen, have you?
you get, and what I have seen. So I feel so that okay, the Yoruba people are people, they do this thing like even looking if the Lagosians, like people in Lagos, they are not only the Yorubas. We have the Igbo, we have the Edo, we have all types, the Hausas and all. So I feel like Yoruba people, they do it the most. I won't even lie to
Because
you.
it's their
Like
state.
yeah, it's their state, and then during some reports I actually get on these things like research and all, I feel Yoruba people just do it the way it is. They actually promote their culture, their custom, tradition. You see them doing different kind of festivals, Oro, Egungun festival, and I feel like it's really commendable. So I can really say that yes, they are preserving their culture.
Okay, so let me go to Kelechi. What do you have to say about the culture?
I feel like yes, Yoruba people they preserve their culture in different ways like that, but also like Igbo, Edo people. I can speak for Edo people. I can't really speak for Igbo because though I travel like every year, I'm not really that deep into the culture because my dad is not really around and he's the one that is Igbo, but my mom is from Edo, so I know a lot about like Edo culture,
That's Edo.
and I know that, and I know that they keep up with their culture in terms of greeting, just like now I can the way like at my age now, I'm just how old? If I have a younger sibling that is just months younger than me or a cousin or anything, they will still kneel down to greet me. Do you understand? Same with if somebody just older than me with like 5 months, I would kneel down to greet the person because like that respect that is in their culture, they always pass it on to newer children, newer generation and everything, and it's just something that they keep up with. So I feel like yes, most cultures do what they can in their own way, in their own little ways to keep up their culture. So,
So, Ewa Evans, what do you feel?
I think modernization has actually affected culture in as much as we feel like we are still keeping it up. But I don't think this should be like the same thing that used to happen 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, it's still happening right now. I think modernization has really affected culture. Has done a lot. Even digital platforms, everything has really affected technology rather. So has affected culture positively and also negatively. So I think, but like we said, we are still trying our best to actually keep it to some extent. All thanks to our parents, because left to this our generation, both the Gen Z and the millennials. I don't think we are ready to talk about anything culture. We are really being held on by our parents. So I think, and I always ask myself that question: is when we become parents and we are actually that old enough, are we actually still going to pass this on to the next generation? That's the question we need to really ask ourselves. So I think we'll do that probably moving on the show.
Okay, so sometimes why do you feel sometimes some particular tribes are ashamed to project their culture? Now, do you like? I know there are some tribes that are, okay. For example, now let me give a very good example. Like, people tend to want to make fun of the Badagry, the Badagrians, because okay, they are Egun. Then you hear people say Shegun Nieni, like just trying to abuse someone, and they're using somebody's tribe to be like. So the stigmatization will not be like Shegun Nieni. Like, does it mean the Egun people are just somehow like? Why do they use that particular tribe to abuse? So do you feel how does it affect those people then? Do you feel those people will now be ashamed to now project their culture? Like me, I'm proud to say I am a Badagry person, and yes, I am a Gu, and I am proud to be an Gu.
I think what.
Yes, wait, let me advertise myself first. So I am telling you that I'm a Badagry person. I'm from Lagos, from Badagry, and I'm a Gu, and I'm proud to be an Egu. In fact, my Egu name is Sewa Anu, in case you don't know. So,
Sewa Anu.
Yeah, Sewa Anu. So,
cool
and
name.
if you're that kind of person that you're outside there and telling people Shegun Nieni, you don't have sense.
Get it to your brain.
Get it to your brain. You don't have sense. We are proud Egun people. Yeah, so you understand. Even though I didn't grow up there, and if you are speaking Egun to me, I'll just be looking at you.
Don't do. Thank you.
Okay, so what do you
want
mean?
to start hearing me to talk about Egun?
It have to. You say be proud of your own state.
You'll be proud of your own
So I
state.
think we are talking about that Egun. Let's use that as a case study. I think what actually happened is, during those days, Egun, they were actually Badagry and they were used to staying within themselves. Do you understand? So moving probably back across Lagos, coming to probably Ikeja mainland or so, they see the way people do things differently. So they were not able to adapt on time. Probably with the language they speak and the way they do things. So they actually have to give them that name. You understand? It's not like it is just they're just trying to mock them or something. But I feel like you know, Yorubas are used to something like they always try to give people name based on how they
Perceive them.
perceive them or how they
Okay.
adapt with them. So I feel that's where the name comes from. So Ego are actually nice people. You're a nice person, even
And
if
they have good food.
yeah, actually they do, and they are nice people. So I don't think they are being stigmatized on one way or the other. I think everybody likes them and we love them. So and now I think they are actually adapted
To
well
the,
to the system
yes,
already.
yes.
You see them in Lagos State government. You see them in schools. See them everywhere. So their culture too is welcome now. Everybody move on. So
And I feel they have other places too where people can go for tour, because we do that a lot.
a lot, yes.
The first school was in Badagry. You see
Place
their
of no
museum
return,
and everything. And
like
no,
that. So
they're
it's
really
nice. So
trying.
I don't
yeah.
think people are actually still doing
No,
that.
not really. Even if it's for that, it's just like for the fun and all of
Yeah,
it.
just
Not
for
that
the fun,
it's a
yeah,
big
exactly.
deal. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, let me just touch up on this.
Okay.
We see that most Nigerians now they have it's the jackpot season, and many Nigerians are relocating from Nigeria to abroad. Like, how do you think they can? How do you think they can?
She wants to leave us.
Yes.
Seriously,
now.
I know. Like that now. So, how do you think they can, even while they are, in diaspora, how do you think can preserve the culture there, regardless?
To be honest, I don't think it's easy, and I don't think it's going to be easy. Like I said earlier, our parents actually did a great job on us. Like there's an episode we did on respect. I don't know if people have seen it. They actually need to see that episode too, where we talk about you having to have respect for elders and all of that.
Okay.
It has to do with culture. Do you understand? Our parents imbibe the culture in us. Do you understand? To let us know that when you see somebody, you need to do this, you need to do this. So moving to another man's country where they don't really
No more to
see
that.
see respect as something
big
that's
deal.
important. You can see your uncle, I call him name. You can see your auntie, I call her a name. They don't feel like. But you know, in our culture, it is you can't do this.
It's
You can't even
mandatory.
do it. You
Yeah.
understand? So I don't think it's going to be easy for those moving abroad, raising kids abroad, to actually still imbibe that culture in them. Because I don't know if you saw a clip recently, a long time ago, where a small girl was telling her grandma that she was lying.
Yeah.
She said, "Grandma, because it feels like you're lying. I'll tell you you're lying."
Yeah, as it should be.
But
But
when-
then in
what they-
Africa,
what
When
they
I was
in
young, can I tell my
African
grandma
city,
I was lying?
oh,
Like,
it's
I
better
use
slap.
left to right. Do you understand? I write my left. I'm actually left-handed. I remember when I was young, I tried to give my grandma something. I used my left to give her. Just trying to
draw you.
Just like
Igbati.
till today, I want to give her something, and I write. No matter she is my right. So these kind of things are what we are trained on. So I don't think. Okay, now when you are in abroad, now you want to slap a child, someone that can sue you for that. So
Yeah.
police will- how do you want to still keep that
But
culture? It's
do you
very,
know
very hard.
that, like they say, if you are in Rome, you have to behave like the Romans and all.
Yes.
I feel, yes, this is our country. We need to like go with the custom, tradition, and everything here. But when we get there, we actually have to like do what they do. Due to though we are going to, like they say, if they are sent on an errand, you have to like use your own idea
yeah.
in delivering it and all. So I feel you just have to like go with what they are doing, because and then their constitution is very, very strict. Like
But
they
in as
deal
much as we
with,
go with what they are doing, we
you
need
still have to
imbibe
use
our
your own
culture.
Yes.
out
Our
of
culture
it.
is
You
very
get, it's
important.
very important. You need to like execute it everywhere and anywhere you go to. So that's why I feel it's not really
It's going to be
a
really
big deal.
hard.
It's going to
Yeah.
be very, very hard.
As much as I want to agree with that, at the same time I don't want to agree with that. I still feel they can still,
Yes.
You can
Because
still
I feel
imbibe
like
the
it's
culture.
not that hard.
yeah. Do you know why they can imbibe the culture? In the sense that I see now that there are individuals training kids on their culture, Nigerian
Yes.
culture. They are practically training them probably
Yes.
at home, doing
Yeah,
tutorials
yeah, I saw
for
something
them.
like that online.
Like children that have been given birth to in Canada who doesn't even know anything about their
Culture and
language.
all.
They train them.
Yeah.
Though they are behaving like those people there,
Yeah.
but they still let them know. They sink into their head like,
Understanding.
You need to
this
know
how
something
this
about
tribe is.
environment.
It matters a lot actually.
Environment.
Environment.
Where you are, where you
You grow up from
matters. Do you
background.
understand? Even no matter how you want to train them.
It can never be.
It
Can't
can
be
never
like-
be like
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
grew up here.
I have a
get
lot
it.
of friends that came from abroad. Their parents sent them to Nigeria for a year or 2 or 3, some 5 years, just to be able
Blend
to adapt
and
and
all.
learn the culture.
But then it can never be like.
You can never
You
be
wanted
like-
to-
At
Something.
least they will
No,
still,
honestly, like that's still a step.
yeah.
You
Mhm.
give birth to the
They
child
step
there, or yeah,
forward.
send
You get
them there,
To at
spend like
least
5 years,
understand.
then come back.
Because
yeah.
this is your father's land. This is where your roots is. This is where your father came from. Your mother, your forefathers are from here. So you need to still understand the culture.
The culture. Yeah. Okay. On that note, we'll be going on a short break now. We're coming back for you. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
At Ninth First Studios, we're passionate about turning your creative dreams into reality. Step into our state-of-the-art facility where the magic happens. Our team of experienced music producers are dedicated to helping you craft your perfect sound. From tracking to mixing, we've got you covered. Podcasting is on the rise, and we're here to support your voice. Our soundproof podcast studios are equipped with top-notch equipment, ensuring your message is crystal clear.
So welcome back to this episode. We're talking about preserving language and custom.
Okay. Yeah. Preserving language and customs. Let's talk on the efforts we Nigerians, especially secondary school and primary schools, they are making in preserving this culture. I see that sometimes, I think during their third term or second term, they usually do cultural day. I think, I don't know, do they still do it? That's a way of preserving the culture.
Yeah.
That's the way of preserving the culture, and I feel they shouldn't stop it, because then when I was in primary school, I even in secondary school.
Yes, in secondary school.
Primary school and secondary school.
I think it ends in
They'll share us
GS3.
they'll share us in groups, and we'll be dancing different
Igbo,
Hausa.
Yoruba.
I remember one particular language. I don't know the language. We'll be dancing Bena. So I think those days it was fun, and I feel they still do it, and this prepares their mind that okay, they know that this is a culture in Nigeria and in their country, and they have to follow the promote it. So now, what are the steps do you think individuals are making to promote the culture? Individuals ourselves, personally, what do you feel we Nigerians are doing to promote the culture?
Well, I feel for the language, I feel that we even do it jokingly. Like, I might be talking to somebody and we tend to learn the insultive part of it fast. That's a way we always try to learn languages, even if not our own language. By the time you try to communicate with me, and then I do something I don't like, and then I'm like, sorry, this. From there, you're now interested in what language is this, and then what does this mean, and then you stick to my head, and then I'll start to research and start to ask people, what does this mean?
That is why,
and then
it's also good for you to go to your background, to your villages and everything. Cause now we're in Lagos. Now everybody around is speaking Yoruba, mostly yes. And you that you're not Yoruba, you would understand already. Do you understand? Exactly. So it's easy to understand it when you're hearing it and everything.
So go to the village.
That's the thing. So many witchcraft. I'm not even like that's why I'm not used to my own village.
But do you know left to let me tell you something. Left to us for this generation, do you know we don't mind going to the village?
Yeah, actually, because
we don't mind. It is our fathers and mothers that put into us this perception of don't go to the village. You don't know who loves you. You don't know who
like my
likes
mom,
you
that's
and
what
all
she
that.
kept in me. Don't go back. They'll do this to you. They'll do that to you.
To actually imbibe the culture.
Yeah, they're trying to imbibe the culture. Yeah,
even through the food.
Through food, what we eat.
The food. The Yoruba have their food. The Igbos have their food.
My mom used to do something when I was small. Then it's common that when a child is growing up, you speak English to the child.
Yes.
For him to have to understand the English language. But when we grew up and I was now used to the English, I'm a Yoruba person, and my own language, I don't even understand it. My mom speaks it, maybe my elder sister and all that. But you see that Yoruba part, when she's speaking Yoruba to me, they don't want me to make an answer for English. If she's speaking Yoruba, I'll say, Mommy, I don't speak English. Mumbai is Yoruba, also English, also Igbo. That kind of thing. That's what she would do. So that one, anytime she's speaking Yoruba like this, I know that I'll answer her with Yoruba. If she's speaking English, I'll give you back English. That's her way.
Pattern,
So
yeah.
they're not born you where make she they speak Yoruba, make you they follow and they speak English. You know again, and only you go school. I'm following.
Exactly.
I'm speaking Yoruba with you. I'm speaking. I'm using
That's
English.
how-
Okay, so me I you last school.
Exactly.
Well, I
So-
think if you look at it more, I think this language we are talking about, Barrier, speaking English, I think it's only common maybe in Lagos State and some states, because if you go to some states,
Yes.
They actually still speak their
Indigenous
language.
people of
Yes,
their language.
yes,
even
Yes.
to actually communicate to them in classes.
Yes, they
Yeah.
use their
They use their
language.
language.
Yes,
Do you
yeah.
understand?
But that do you know that has its disadvantage?
Disadvantage,
A lot,
yes, it
because
does.
a lot of disadvantage. Because even I've seen a scenario where someone wanted to get a job, a very good paying job, over $1 million salary, and the accent
That's true.
failed
Especially
the person.
Ibadan people.
The
Why you
accent
think Ibadan people?
failed the
For
person.
you?
Like
It's not
that
like-
accent, I think the person was from I think the person was from Ondo or something. Or something.
Ondo too, they have their own.
Yeah, Ondo.
distinct
Nigga. So
dialect and
that
all.
accent was very deep, and that person grew up in that state, like
Oh,
primary school,
oh.
secondary school,
So that's
university,
what I'm
everything.
saying.
In the
You
state. So
see how-
when he now came to
still going to
Lagos,
be there.
when he now came to
That
Lagos, the way he was
language,
speaking,
he used that
and
language
everything
to
was like,
approach
"How does
them.
this one want to speak to my
How
clients? How does this
does
want to speak to my client?" I'll be like,
So we are only saying this because we are in Lagos, and most schools actually speak good English in Lagos. So actually
Yeah.
train them. But if you go to some states,
Mm.
you'll be surprised that they speak their
They
language.
speak their
to
language.
teach
But
them.
then it's not meant to be too much.
Actually,
it
it's not
affects,
meant-
for
yes.
because
does.
we
It's supposed
are,
to
we are a
balance
nation,
it.
we have different languages. So as a nation, we chose English as our official language.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
should be able to speak English.
It's
very
not until you go to school for these things. You can learn online. You can actually learn online.
well. Either ways, the culture should still be imbibed.
Yeah, in
each
there.
and every one
Yes,
of
it
us.
says a lot.
It saves a lot.
All right. On that note, we're still going to go on a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go down into culture, like what most of us feel is fetish.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, and welcome to this final segment of this episode. And on this segment, we are going to be talking about the culture. We're going to dig deep into the culture. Now, there are some things our parents, our forefathers, they do in those days, and when they do those things now, we feel these people, don't you think they are fetish? You know, when they give birth to somebody in some particular tribe, they do some rites, and actually maybe in Ibadan where they give birth to some, I don't know how it's done, where they give them tribal marks,
Yeah.
and I don't think those things are cultural. Were cultural then, and I think now, if you give birth to an Ibadan, like, and you
Don't try that process.
so I don't understand. Like, the question I should ask you is, if your father is from Ibadan and your mother is from Ibadan, and you grow up in the city like Lagos, and your father tells you to come home, you just give birth. I say, bring your child home. Oh, we have to do some rites, and give your child the mark that he's supposed to have as the first son of the family. What are you going to do? Is that money problem?
The question is,
that's what.
what if you drop the baby and before you came back, they already given the child?
You will undo it though.
Ah.
Because how, when, and do you know
That's a
this
very
thing-
big question. No?
Yes,
Like,
no.
what did we do?
Some people don't even give tiny tremor. Some give big. You have not seen one like finger of hand before.
I remember when we were in secondary school, anybody would say like that, I say, I fight lion.
Exactly.
But
And then
sincerely, what may I feel is there are some cultures that I don't. Culture and tradition is good, but there are
It
some
is.
things that are not
Should be
supposed to
outside the
like.
box.
It should just
For
be. It
real.
should just be put aside.
And that's where
Exactly.
Modernization,
Exactly.
yeah, but at the same time, there are some things that are not supposed.
We put
Modernization
aside.
is not supposed to take them away at
Away.
all.
But just
At
like
all.
a little bit.
Now, these things bring us back to the fact that back then, most of our forefathers don't visit the hospital.
Yes.
They don't visit the hospital. Now, that is the reason being that they believe in the herbs.
Herbs,
They believe in the herbs. They know what to cut to solve this particular problem. They know the leaves to use to solve that particular
Yes, and then
problem.
it works
I know.
effectively.
But now, we dey still live, we just wetin concern me
dey match grass anyhow.
we dey match grass anyhow, we dey match am anyhow. Any small thing like this hospital, any small thing HMO, any small
You
thing.
know, the difference is that in those days, one, there's not much population. One.
You were not educated.
Yeah, no, not about education. Education has not come to place here. We are looking about food that they eat. Let's start with food that they eat first. They eat healthy food. Do you understand?
Okay.
And then the ozone layer, everything was still okay.
Are you saying we don't eat healthy food now?
What we eat now are just junks.
Pizza and
Indomie.
Okay, Indomie
We
games.
eat processed food.
Processed food, okay, yeah,
Exactly.
refined
More
food, yeah.
refined processed
Yeah.
food. But then our forefathers, if they want to eat, they go straight to the farm. They plug their leaf,
cook.
they cook it. The bushmeat they want to
Nutritious and
eat,
they
they
kill
set the trap,
this,
they get it. When last did you eat bushmeat? Or when last did you eat a meat that you
Why are
kill
you
yourself?
asking him that question?
Me.
No,
Are
I'm
you trying
asking
to
you.
are you trying
No,
to get
I'm
something
saying
out of that?
Most of us nowadays, in this, now I'm just trying why people go to
You know
the
whether the
hospital.
meat I buy from Yabiodun is bushmeat?
Well, right now we are using the hospital more because we are not exposed to that life that we were living there. Do you understand? So our body system might not be able to adapt
That's
to
that
anymore.
Yes.
Do you understand? So that is why we are now involved in chemo and all of this, go to drugs and all of these things. So and now, right now we have a whole lot of diseases.
But
like
are we
the
saying
cancer and the
those
rest.
stuffs they were using like herbs are not more effective?
They are.
They are very
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah.
Okay,
They are
so
very
what's
effective.
stopping us from using
We
it?
can still go back to those things.
Except okay.
We can still go back to those things because I feel there are still some companies that believe in that. They produce, they just
Herbal
okay,
stuffs,
yes.
herbal, natural
Yes.
herbal stuffs, and you know, because we are wired differently, we are wired to always see okay, medications. We don't. If you give me something I have now, I like herb, but not.
And then the bitter
not-
ones.
Yeah,
it's the bitter
exactly.
ones.
They
And funny
have to be
enough,
bitter.
it's the
Start
bitter ones
drinking
that
it.
cure the problem. That
Yes,
is very
more.
bitter.
It's very effective.
Now them they solve the problem past, but it's still to taste those bitter ones.
Ah,
I have my brother will take especially me if I do them before. If I take bitter one, I'll just put coke aside.
Exactly.
Or put honey aside.
Put your chewing
As
gum.
I dey drop her like this, I dey drop the
When
second
we
one.
were even younger then, anytime we fall sick, I remember when my grandma then, she would just give you one herb like this, you drink that one, then you use one cloth to cover you. I don't know
Yes,
if
just
you
sweat
Yeah,
out.
so you sweat it
You
out.
Yes.
do this for it for 3 hours. Anyway, by the time you come out of that place and you put yourself, that malaria will
Yeah,
leave.
yeah,
I don't want to
exactly.
now pick that malaria. It will leave. Do you understand? So, but right now, what has that time?
That's
No,
the
it's
thing.
because we
Well,
don't want to do
It's
it.
because we don't want
We
to.
We
don't want
prefer
to.
to go to the
It's
clinic, collect injection,
Yes,
drink.
ASAP. We're
everybody
done.
move on with life.
And funny enough, we don't know that
Just-
those things even have effects.
Everything has effect.
Look,
Even the
everything
herbs
has-
we are using to have effect.
I don't think so.
do.
It
Not-
does, but not as
If
much
it's
as.
not as much as
this
if it's refined, they are refined herbs that are mixed with stuff. Do you
Yes,
understand?
yes, but then
the
the
real
real
herbs,
herbs
like from the root,
are
I don't think they have effects. I don't think so.
But I don't know if this is supposed to be included, but I am so sorry, but I need to ask. This weeds people are smoking, is there any supposed to be any effect since it's herbal
That's a big question.
and it's from the
herbal.
roots and
But,
from
I think weed is misused and abused.
exactly.
Yes.
It's when it's being
Yeah.
abused that's now
It's
taking out
misused
Yes.
and
the whole
abused.
thing.
Weed naturally is supposed to be used for another thing. It is herbal and it has its own
Medicinal.
medicinal
Medicinal
value. You
stuff,
understand?
yes.
But the new generation,
Gen
not
Z
they want to
body.
explore. So you see weed like that, they see it this thing light you know, and you
Let's
smoke
puff
you know.
off.
So it gives what you use differently will give you a different result in your
Result,
body.
yeah,
You understand?
yeah,
If you use it right, it's going to give you that right result that you want. But if you use it differently, if you abuse it, you go abuse yourself.
I think the problem is abusing.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
That thing where you want you abuse, that's what we don't know. If you think you want to abuse something,
To spoil your
you are
life.
not just abusing it, it will abuse you.
Yes.
It's abusing you. Now you dey flex. But
But at the end
to
of
the
it
thing,
all,
to the igbo way they smoke, now
They
they
will
abuse you
explain.
more. So if you say you want to go for scan now, you have seen everything, you will see the effect. But see,
Yeah.
let me tell you, the weed to some people, they say it gives inspiration. I don't see the
Yeah,
inspiration wey they
inspiration.
give.
Wàá fẹ́ kú.
But sincerely, you think you're abusing it, it's abusing you, and later on you will see the effect, the ripple effect.
Psychological effect.
Yeah, so-
and all of that.
Let me just give this tip before we round up. We're going to round up soon.
Okay.
I feel culture is good. Let us keep our culture and
We are
heritage.
talking about fetish. They always
Barbaric
The
and
fetish stuff and all that. There are a lot of let's not misunderstand, culture and tradition for being fetish. When you are doing ogun, tó bá ń ṣe ogun, wàá mọ̀ pé òun ṣe ogun like ogun. But when you are using herbal stuffs, you are not being fetish. You are not being fetish. You are actually still
doing
doing the right thing,
yeah.
maintaining culture and all those things. Yeah.
That's when abuse come into it too.
Okay, so I was talking about the culture that we practice. Some cultures that practice and people think they are being fetish. I don't think they are being fetish. They're just trying to keep their cultural heritage and all that. So some people, everybody believes in different things.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Behind the scene, I was sharing a story where I went to shoot in a particular village, and that village still in Lagos. That village, we kept our luggages, kept phones and everything. We were charging, and we left that place to shoot for hours, couple of hours, like 4 hours. And when we came back, we met our stuff, same spots we kept them, and we were wondering like, this place, like, we after asking what happened, like, why is this thing? Like, nobody thief phone. We now open the bag, made the thief phone. We're scared, like, they now said that this place will say, anybody wait if anything, like, in 24 hours, he says something go down. Nobody say he go die, but he no go feel, you see that maybe in leg good, he no go sharp him until he talk, say, he go talk, now he take this thing, confess, say, now, so if you don't confess, they go come give you a discipline and antidote and all that and all that. That if they decide to leave them. So I was shocked. Like that is culture, but would you say they are fetish?
Nah.
And that is keeping their that is making them disciplined in that part of the state. So I don't know. I think that kind of place. If I live with them, peace go there. I feel open my door. I feel open my door. Sleep. And nothing will happen.
I remember when somebody was really saying that most of these our Ogali top politicians should actually be swearing in. First
Yes,
go
go
to
to
Ogun
and do it. Yes, they also regarded it as being fetish, and it's not meant to be like that.
But funny enough, some people believe say God slow. If they swear with Ogun, they no go
die.
But that's not true.
That's how it is. For real, if they do it that way, things will be better.
Things go do better, no though, because my time don't strike you like 2 times.
Strike you once for your life, you don't go steal again. So that's just it.
If you have your opinion, you want to say something about culture and heritage, keeping our identity, you can drop your comments on our YouTube page, Instagram page, Twitter, everywhere. You can just follow us on at official Generation Unfiltered, and subscribe to YouTube channel official ICTV. That's where we'll be doing the cutting on this particular episode. Shout out to Nightfall Studios, shout out to Glam by Sheon, shout out to food vendors trying to keep our bellies filled up.
Thank you.
Food by Lashile, yummy and spicy. Thank you all. Thank you everyone, to the crew, to the producers, to the directors, to my amazing co-hosts, AY Bams, Kelechi, and my baby girl here. Thank you, and see you on our next episode.
Bye guys.
Bye bye.